Hello and welcome to 365 Days of Healing. So today we're going to have a look at a pendulum. Now I have a clear quartz crystal pendulum which has been made into a necklace. So any pendulum that you have, and as I have said many times in the past, the crystals have their own energy. It's called a piezoelectric energy, and it reacts with this electric system that we have. Our bodies are just energy, and we exude an energy, and the crystal will pick up on that energy and also come back to us and help to balance us. So today we're going to balance our chakras, and depending on how you are feeling in the day is where you start. So I feel quite grounded today, so I'm going to start at the base chakra, and we're going to move up through the chakras to the crown chakra and then to the universal energies that are coming into us. So we'll start at the base chakra, and the base chakra is at the base of our spine, and we're just going to hold this, and the crystal will begin to move. So we hold it steady, and the crystal will either move in a clockwise or an anti-clockwise way, or it will move backwards and forwards, which this one is doing. Now this crystal that I use has its own sort of movement, and it is aligned to me. It's important that we begin to with a cleansed crystal, so we can do that in ocean water, running water, under the full moon. So it's important to have those crystals cleansed so that they are then can align to the energy of the person that is using them. So starting at the base, let's see what this is doing. It's moving backwards and forwards and having its own elliptical sort of movement, like a figure of eight movement, meaning that base chakra possibly could be opened a little bit more. So possibly I need to go away then and meditate on what it means to be fully grounded, to be in a full survival mode, to go into trust in the moment. All right, so from there we move up to the sacral chakra, and the sacral chakra is just above the pubic bone, and it is to do with our creativity and of course our sexuality. So this crystal is moving in an anti-clockwise motion. Now that could mean that I'm quite shut down in that area. And yeah, I would say that that's pretty true. I need maybe to be addressing why I'm not using my full creative energies in particular ways, and also my sexual self. And because of my age, you know, there is a certain shutting down that is happening. However, the energy from there, doesn't matter what age you are, the energy should still be as powerful as what it is when you are young. So that's another area that I need to address, is that energy to do with my femininity, and also to do with that part of myself which is about the purest form of creativity. From there we move to the solar plexus, which is just around the navel, just above the navel, into that stomach area there. And let's see what's happening there. This is to do with our self-esteem, our sense of self-worth, and yes, the crystal is moving in a clockwise motion. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean for you that clockwise means it's open and balanced. Anti-clockwise could be for you open and balanced. For me, it is usually a clockwise motion. Each crystal has its own energy and will speak to you about what it needs to be saying to you. So, my self-esteem is good, it's balanced, it's my sense of self-worth is balanced and feels uh, like it is operating the way it needs to be operating. So that's a really good thing. There's no right and wrong in what happens in these energy centers within us. It just is on the day when we do these self-tests, or we can use these crystals with other people as well. It is all to do with intention. It's not to do with what's right and wrong. It's to do with something that we may need to be addressing. So from that solar plexus area, we move to the heart chakra, and again we've got this backwards and forwards motion, more an elliptical sort of movement happening. This crystal does a lot of elliptical movements like the infinity sign, and this to me, and then moving into a clockwise circular pattern. So this to me is about the fact that my heart is very open. Sometimes for me particularly, my heart can become too open. I start getting attuned from my mind into my heart, and I feel I have to do things for everybody around me to make it right. That's not necessarily my place to do that, even though my compassion is very strong and my heart is very open. But I must be very careful that I don't overuse that part of myself, particularly from my mind. This crystal actually moves depending on what I'm saying and what energy is coming through, and it is actually confirming a lot of what I was then saying. So from our heart then we move to our throat chakra, and the throat is about our expression, how we voice what we believe to the world, how we voice what we believe to ourselves. Not just verbally, but in the communication levels. And here you will see that this is moving in a clockwise motion, and meaning that my voice, I am saying what I believe, what I think, what I feel, and it's quite balanced in its movement. It's not really giving me any strong indication that I may be saying too much or too little. All right, so from there we then move to the third eye, and this is about our intuition. This is about the knowing that we have without knowing why. Now, you'll see that this actually is moving in a very strong anti-clockwise motion. So right at this point in time anyway, I am not just in my intuitive self, I'm actually thinking through what I should be doing. And this is indicating that maybe I'm too much in my mind. Now it's starting to change its pattern of movement, and it's coming into a clockwise motion. Because when I just go into the trust and I start channeling what I should be saying instead of just thinking about what I should be saying, it actually is opening that portal of energy to bring in an intuitive self. So it's knowledge that's coming from outside of me, not just from what is happening in my own head. And that is now quite strong in a very positive way, that my intuition is now being triggered, and I am allowing the voice and the words just to come through. And then we go to the crown chakra, and I will again, it's just making a decision as to what is going on. So happening in an anti-clockwise motion. I can't really see it very clearly. Now it's starting to go in a clockwise motion. So I am actually feeling the life force energy coming from the universe. It is now starting to be triggered, and I'm feeling much more balanced in this whole energetic system. So take your pendulum, do some of these self-tests for yourself each day or each month, or just when it feels right for you, to try not to be involved in wanting it to be a particular way, accepting that some days we're really attuned, some days we're really grounded, other days we might be off with the fairies. It's all good. It's all the experience of the light force energy in all its myriad forms. And use your crystal as a tool to understand where you are on each day, because often using it helps us to become unstuck in the energy centers that are there speaking to us in each day. Hope that helps, and see you again. Namaste.